Everyone, we're back now on Triad Today. I'm so glad you stayed with us on the program because it's time for another one of our monthly visits with a great attorney in this area, somebody who is versed in civil as well as criminal law. We met him for the first time on Triad Today last month. He is no stranger to folks throughout the Triad and in his profession. I'll hold these magazines up again, not to embarrass him, but just to say that not just his picture, but his cases and his successes have been in a number of outstanding magazines like Lawyers Weekly and also in Jury View magazine. Jay Paul, our director, of course, we're talking about the esteemed lawyer, Clarke Dummit of the Dummit Law Firm. Welcome, sir.
Great to be here.
Good to see you again. Last month we talked about a case that you had. I want to talk about a different case, and this one actually I think appeared in this article in Lawyers Weekly, and it has something to do with a DWI checkpoint or something. Help me out with this.
Absolutely. DWI checkpoints are a fascinating area of the law. Typically, you've got to have a search warrant to be able to detain somebody. That's in the Constitution.
Right.
Mad Mothers has been very effective at getting some legislation passed through, and in 1989, Michigan started having these checkpoints where they said, even though we don't have a warrant, we don't have any real suspicion that this person's doing anything wrong, we're going to briefly detain them on the side of the road to check and see whether or not they've been drinking.
Okay.
And that is constitutional. You balance this great harm to the public against a minimal intrusion.
How would they know to do that, though? Are they seeing them weaving, or are they just randomly pulling people over?
They set up these checking stations where they stop every single person that comes through down the road.
Okay.
And so they cast this broad net to catch everybody and screen them.
And you don't have any problem with that?
Well, I don't like it, but it has been determined that if you balance the great harm of a DWI against a minimal intrusion, that's probably going to be okay. The Supreme Court has said that passes.
Well, what about things just a basic license check?
Well, that's where we have the problems. And those, you can't say that there's this great harm out there of somebody being unlicensed or having their license expired is not going to pose some great threat to the public. It's strictly an administrative procedure. It can't balance a warrantless detention. It works in the DWI checking stations. It doesn't work on license checking stations.
So you're against just stopping people randomly and doing license checks?
Just to see whether or not they happen to have everything up to date is no grounds to detain somebody under the Fourth Amendment. Absolutely not. And I've been arguing this for years.
Was that what this case was about that we were alluding to?
Finally, we have got a case to the Court of Appeals. I won the case at the Court of Appeals, and unfortunately it's not over yet. They have sent it back down to the trial court. We're going to have additional hearings with new findings, and then it's going back up to the Court of Appeals for them to make some more decisions.
Because I think you had a client that was stopped and detained for no reason, right?
I had exactly. It was the client, Mr. Veazey, is the name of the case, and he's on the cover of the magazine, the Veazey case. What happened in that case was just a random license check on a Sunday afternoon. He'd done nothing wrong. They screened him. They determined that he had a .08, a technical violation, even though he wasn't appreciably impaired by notice.
Right. And
they convicted him of driving while impaired. I appealed that to the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals has ruled just a great sentence. We're not certain that enforcing all motor vehicle laws is a valid grounds for a checking station.
Gotcha. Interesting. So that's
clearly a DWI would be.
Still being appealed.
Still up.
That's interesting. Now, what's very quickly before we run out of time, what's the most important issue you think stemming from this case, even though it's not totally resolved?
I think they have stated very clearly that they need to have strong grounds like a DWI to be able to detain somebody, not just administrative.
I got you. Let's, before I get to time out entirely, let's take a look at the logo and information for the Dummit Law Firm. A great group of people that works. It's not just Clarke there. There are other attorneys and lots of good support staff that can help folks. And give us a plug for your website again.
Absolutely, nclawyer.com.
And, of course, there's a local number to the Triad area, 777-8081, 777-8081. I learned a lot about these things, and I look forward to our segments. We had a good one last month, and I learned a lot about the differences between DWI checkpoint and license check this month. Look forward to seeing you next month.
Enjoyed it. I'll see you next month.